Okay. Okay. Recording now.
In goes 1 cup of kelp. Actually, I won't use 2 cups of kelp because I'll use fish. Well, we've got it. We've got a fish emulsion, seaweed and fish emulsion here, so it's pretty concentrated. What we're looking for is fish hydrolysate in these products. And fish hydrolysate is basically the fish oils, and you can make your own by treating fish bones and fish waste with kiwi fruit or pawpaw to the enzymes in those fruits dissolve the bones, and it's not done with heat. So if you can, there is a very good fish hydrolysate called Marine Solutions, and it's a very oily, it's full of fish oil, which is a great fungal food, and there's no heat applied to the fish, so it's all got all its vitamins and minerals, I suppose. So we've got the kelp and the fish emulsion. Now I'm going to put some rock dust because, if you know, fungus likes rocks. They eat rocks. Fungus dissolves rocks, and that's one of the great things about having fungi in the soil. They're dissolving rocks. The fungus are dissolving rocks, and the minerals in those rocks are unlocked because apparently all the elements we need, all the minerals we need, are in the sand, silt and clay. They're just not available to plants in a lot of cases. And we're in a district where selenium deficiency is very bad, and we've had 10 dead sheep, lambs, beautiful big fat lambs, in the paddock one morning, all with their feet in the air, due to a combination of selenium deficiency and Barber's pole worm. So we were giving our animals a lick block with selenium, cobalt, molybdenum, all these trace elements that are needed in very tiny doses. But if they get it in a big dose, it's a poison. But if it's completely absent, animals such as us get all sorts of fertility problems, mental problems, etc., etc. So very important, the micronutrients like iodine, molybdenum, cobalt, selenium. And apparently all those minerals are there. We just need we need biology in the soil to unlock the minerals and make plant available soluble form of those rocks. So what have we got? Rock dust and kelp and fish emulsion. It's all nicely powdered up. The rock dust was fairly powdered, but Stuart ground that even finer, and we should really probably do the same with the kelp, and then I'd be happier to use more of that next time when I've run out of fish emulsion. It'll probably just be kelp for a while. So now that goes in. Whether to pour it through there. People use a mesh bag for this sometimes, but I just find this pretty much easy. So that's really not a lot of nutrients, not a lot of inputs to 80 litres of fluid, which in 24 hours time should contain a lot more microbes than the original fluid. If I was to look under the microscope, and I will, as soon as darkness falls, I'll be taking one tiny drop of this and having a look at the critters in there. We'll see bacteria and fungi, and hopefully some flagellates, some protozoans, which eat bacteria and fungi, perhaps some amoeba, and a few ciliates. I don't want to see too many ciliates because ciliates breed up in the presence of anaerobic bacteria. Their favourite food is anaerobic bacteria, so it's not a good sign to see a lot of ciliates. And if the pump was to fail, we would suddenly see masses of ciliates in here, and it would indicate that we've gone anaerobic. Anaerobic organisms basically excrete, their metabolites are dangerous things to plants, like alcohol, formaldehyde, acids. So we want the aerobic organisms, absolutely, because their waste products are nitrate and ammonium. They eat the bacteria and fungi, and the bacteria and fungi are the main decomposers on the planet that decompose all the organic matter, and the protozoas eat them, and their waste products, or basically their poop, is nitrogen and ammonium. Because bacteria are the highest, the biggest amount of nitrogen on the planet is held in bacterial biomass. The bodies of bacteria contain a lot of nitrogen. And creatures eat carbohydrates and protein. They eat the proteins for bodybuilding and reproduction, to reproduce themselves, and the carbohydrates are for energy. So when they eat a bacteria, they're mainly chasing the carbohydrates, the energy, the sugars, but a bacteria contains so much nitrogen that the creature that eats it excretes the excess nitrogen, excess to their needs. And it's that which recycles nutrients to the plant. Isn't it marvellous? So, all this sloppy stuff, I might leave sitting there for a while longer, but I'll put that back in my worm farm, on my compost heap, and when you drain water through compost like that, what comes out, that brown fluid there, is very rich in humic acid. So, fulvic and humic acid. And you see the worms, I haven't given them too hard a time. There's a little compost worm, looking a little worse for wear, but still alive and well. Now, just want to get the air lines. All this is simple, basically air's coming out the end of these hoses. I've got a bamboo stick somewhere. My trusty bamboo stick might have finally broken off. I'll use this one. We plunge that down so the air hoses are, the outlets of the hoses are at the bottom of this barrel, and I'll probably hold this down with something like a flower pot. So, terrific! So easy. The biodynamic method would be, of course, to stir this one way and then another for an hour. Great if you've got time, but if you've got a solar panel and you can run this little very small pump, saves you having to stand there and do that. And we'll run this for 24 hours. By that time, the creatures will have bred up, especially the fungi, and after the 24-hour mark, the fungi will no longer, it'll probably start to be eaten by other things. So we want to get it out tomorrow about this time, and I'll see what's happening under the microscope, but we have seen quite a bit of this, and we know that by the 24-hour mark, the fungi are pretty growing stronger, and next time we look at another few hours later, they're not as many, and then not as many again, so that there's practically none 2 days later. So we'll put it out early. There you have it. Thank you.